Crowd and Corey Macklin at ringside, ready to go with another day of USWA Championship Wrestling. Eddie Marlin is with us today. Eddie, I know why you're here. We got something special for the folks today.
That's right. We sure have, Dave. You know, one of the Moondogs was injured, and I hated to do it, but, you know, it's a policy, and it's not only the USWA, but we've got other promoters and wrestling offices that expects us to supply them with the USWA Tag Team Champions for their arenas and all. So we had to take the belt away due to his injury. It's going to seem like it's quite serious. And the quickest and the best and the fairest way we could come up with a new champion is to have a tournament.
Sounds good to me, and we're going to have the tournament, which actually is in two parts. We're going to have the beginning of it right here on television today, and in agreement with the television station and the promotion, so that first round matches right here today, and then later in the week the tournament will be concluded.
That's right. That's, like I say, it's the quickest, fairest, the best way, because not only us, the USWA, but all the other promoters in the area, we need the USWA Tag Team Champions.
Well, that's exactly right, and it's unfortunate, but one of the Moondogs was hurt. Looks like the concussion is going to keep him out for some time. He can't defend. Now, here our USWA committee has ranked the top 8 teams. Number 1 seed in the tournament, the Harris brothers, the Bruise brothers, Ron and Don Harris, Lawler and Jarrett, Mean Mike Miller, Brian Christopher, Danny Davis, and Moondog Spot, Reggie B. Fine and Jeff Gaylord, Eddie and Doug Gilbert, the Masters of Terror, and Scott Campione and Tony Denucci, number 8. So what we're going to do, let's see, we've got some brackets over here. Right, okay. All right, so it'll be team number 1, Harris Brothers against Campione and Denucci. That'll be the opener, and we'll go right through this first round, and we will end up with the second round, which will be the quarterfinal round, and then, of course, the finals will come up later, and new USWA Tag Champions will be crowned later in the week. Eddie, I'm looking forward to it today. Got some
wild action.
Got some great names coming up, and we'll be back with that opening match. You stay with us right after. Guest commentators during the match here today. Danny Davis on my left, to his left, of course, Richard Lee, and Corey and I will stay here too and kind of watch the goings on. We want to go ahead and get them in here. Number 1 seed, the Bruise brothers, Ron and Don Harris, against the number 8 seed. Here they come right here. Tony Denucci and Scott Campione climbing into the ring right now.
These two guys right here, though, I think have quite a future in wrestling because they're both young ones, willing to learn. They're good and strong. They get in the gym and work out like they're supposed to.
A couple of young kids trying to make a name for themselves. One right here. Name off of the Harris boys right here.
I tell you what, they got their work cut out for them. They are fine young wrestlers. Look at Samples. Just get on up there now and leave him alone over here. Samples referring to Richard Lee's arm, which is in a sling. Samples with that sinister smile on his face.
Don't worry about it.
Let's get this one underway. These Harris brothers are big and they are tough. Let me tell you, they're the number 1 seed in the tournament for a reason, Danny.
Exactly right. Exactly right, because they're big, and they try to run roughshod over everyone here in USWA. But you know, upsets have happened before, and it could happen right here today with the number 8 seed.
Well, you're exactly right. Let's see what happens. It looks like Scott Campione is going to be starting. And Corey, we'll try to do basically regular blow-by-blow account here. But Danny, you and Richard, jump in there anytime you'd like.
Let me jump in, Dave.
Hey, we have a couple of guest commentators. If you don't mind, if you would just be a manager and leave us alone, we'd appreciate it. Mike Samples.
Well, I understand your concern for my welfare, but I'm going to take a chance to come over here. Richard Lee, I see your arms healing nicely. You're at least able to walk now. Where'd you find this midget? Who is this guy with you?
Mike Samples.
For a long, long time, I've been involved in professional wrestling, and I've always tried to take the knowledge that I've took through the years and put it into people that I've managed. And one thing that I've always tried to teach my people is to have heart, because heart is going to bring you out of any problems that you have. This man right here has more heart than you and your 2 goon squads up here would ever have in a lifetime, Mike Samples, and don't forget it. And when me and Spot and Danny Davis walk out of that auditorium and we've got the belts around our waist, just remember you heard it from Richard Lee first.
Well, Richard Lee, let me ask one more question. isn't there like a copyright infringement here? He's coming out here looking like Barney Rubble. I mean, won't you get in some trouble?
You're real good with words. You're real good with words, but that's about all you're good for. Let me tell you something. I don't back down from nobody. I never have. I've been in this profession for 13 years, and 13 years of my life I put in blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not going to back down from you or your mouth or your Bruise brothers. You understand?
Well, yeah, I understand. You don't really have to worry about me. It's these two guys, Mr. Deadly and Mr. Uncontrollable, that you have to worry about.
Let me tell you about Deadly and Uncontrollable, Mike Samples. I've been ringside, and I've watched the Bruise brothers run around that ring with their tongues hanging out. The only way that you guys came out with a victory was the fact that you send about 2 or 3 more people down, and it'd be 5 against 3, 6 against 3. Well, let me tell you something. We're going to run them ragged. They're going to be tripping on their tongues when we get through with them. And I'll guarantee you, Danny Davis and Moondog Spot will walk out with the tag team title, and your boys are going to be there with their feet straight up in the air.
Well, that's the word from Richard Lee, and the Bruise brothers, they continue to go to work on Tony Denucci in there, working over Denucci and Campione. Now, the Bruise brothers, remember, they're the #1 seed in this tag team tournament. Denucci and Campione coming in as the #8 seed. Slap from Denucci, and the big Bruise brother, boy, just returns the favor and just goes to work slamming away on Tony Denucci.
These guys are mean today. I guess Mike Samples fed on their mean pills this morning.
They probably just didn't feed them. Is what he did. You taking all their money and putting it in your pocket too, big boy, or do they know that yet?
No, I don't do Richard Lee tricks. I run a respectable organization.
Why don't you pay me the money you still owe me, then, big boy? You run your mouth when you first came in here, telling me what all
you're sitting there with a busted up arm and a busted head, and all you got's a big mouth. One of your Moondogs is already out, and I can take responsibility for that.
I can have a few surprises up my sleeve, too. And
yeah,
this
which
is the biggest
sleeve?
one right here.
You only got one
you don't
sleeve.
realize what you're in for.
Yeah.
Well, the Bruise brothers pins Campione over here while Richard Lee and Mike Samples still into it.
And I hope that you can take one look out here and see that you do not want to mess with these two men. It's not too late for you to back out.
This match is over, and Tony Denucci and Scott Campione gave it a shot, but they end up losing. And Ron and Don Harris, the Bruise brothers, advance.
You the new Moondog, you who that replace him with?
Hey.
You the man taking his place? You gonna take the Moondog's place? Huh? You gonna get in with us?
If I have to, yeah, I will, because I don't...
Oh, boy, the Bruise brothers, Ron and Don Harris come in here and jump on Danny Davis and Richard Lee. Well, watch Richard's arm over there. He's holding it. While they jump on Danny Davis, throw Danny in the ring in there. Boy, Mike Samples over stomping on Lee's arm. While the Bruise brothers, look at Danny Davis, though. Comes back under with a double clothesline on the Bruise brothers. Here comes his half. Moondog Spot comes in. And the Bruise brothers hightail it out of there, boy, quickly.
Moondog Spot and a chair arrived, and that is going to wrap it up for the Bruise brothers. Mike Samples is calling them out, but one parting shot at Richard Lee as he goes after that injured arm repeatedly. And
Let me tell you something, big boys. I've got more fight in this little body right here than you big goons have got in the little stinking bodies of yours. Let me tell you something. When I got Moondog Spot by my side and Richard Lee, we can't go wrong.
well, there's the word. Danny Davis and Moondog Spot are attending to Richard Lee. Let's
Mike Samples, if you want to get to the top of the mountain, brother, you got to go up Moondog Mountain, and you ain't got the gas hot dog.
The Harris brothers have advanced. Corey, in the top bracket here, it's going to be the Harris brothers against either seed number 4 or 5. Davis and the Moondogs are seed number 4. They will wrestle later on today, Reggie B. Fine and Jeff Gaylord, to see who goes against the Harris brothers as the tournament continues. We'll be back in just a moment. We're joined here by Brian Christopher and Mean Mike Miller in the ring right now. The Masters of Terror, Master of Terror number 1 and Master of Terror number 2 injured a couple of weeks ago, but it looks like he's found a substitute Master of Terror and we are just about set to go, as coming in here will be Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler.
You know, Dave, we're out here for one reason. Me and the bad man right here, Mike Miller, out here to look at our opponents in the second round. We want to check out all these tag teams, see who we might be facing, you know, after we do advance, because you know we will.
Well, we'll see. As was said earlier, upsets happen sometimes. And, you never know for sure if you're going to be advancing. But you might want to pay attention here because a couple of rugged tag teams, but especially when you look at Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler, who are in there against these Masters of Terror.
You know, Dave, I want to ask you a question. I want to check out your memory. I want to see if you remember just 1 week ago right here on television, do you remember when Jerry Lawler, the King Jerry Lawler, came out here and said that he was going to give me the whipping that I should have got a long time ago? Do you remember that, Dave?
I sure do remember that, and, I'm not sure about what. Maybe I agree with it.
Good, Dave. I was seeing if you had been suffering from Alzheimer's or something.
Oh, come on, Brian.
But I see you remember that. Now, Dave, I want to tell you what happened when Jerry Lawler did get his hands on me. Jerry the King Lawler had to eat his words, Dave Brown. He had to eat his words because he found out that I am too much for him. He couldn't whip me then, and he can't whip me now.
You know what? I mean, you can sit over here at the table and say that. I'd like to see you tell him that.
Yeah.
Dave, I don't have to tell him that because he knows it. I know it. Everybody watching knows it. It's a fact. He can't whip me.
Well, there's the King standing in there now with the Master of Terror, and that's Brian Christopher and his remarks in there.
I know you got a couple of guys up there right now, but you got the cream of the crop of the mixed outs right here, sitting right at your desk, and I hope you appreciate that.
Well, I don't know if we'll appreciate it or not, Mike Miller.
That's a word from Mike Miller. As the King continues to work against the Masters of Terror. Are you sure? I don't know, Brian.
Dave, back to what I was saying. I am positive that he couldn't whip me then, and he obviously cannot whip me now. I am a superior athlete, Dave Brown.
Well, you are a superior athlete, but I almost hesitate to pursue that because I don't know. I just have to think that Lawler would just welcome the opportunity to try that, as a matter of fact.
Dave, if you want me to, I'll tell him right now he cannot whip me. Not on his best day can he whip me.
Brian Christopher.
Boy, I tell you.
He's real sure, isn't he?
Yeah, Brian, you got a lot of confidence. There's no doubt about it, but you know as well, you know better than any of us maybe who you're dealing with there, for heaven's sake. You've been around here quite a while.
That's why I like this man right here. He's got a lot of confidence, and he's got a lot of stuff to back what he says up.
Well, Mike Miller believes in him. Brian Christopher and Mean Mike Miller joining us at the desk here of the Masters of Terror. Goes to Lawler and Jarrett. Look at Lawler, 2. He got him. 1, 2, 3.
He got him now. I think he's available, Brian, if you want to go up there and tell him that.
Dave, I think I'll do just that. Hey, Jerry Lawler, hey, Lawler, you can't whip me, Lawler. You never have been able to whip me.
Wait, don't yell at him from over here. Go up there and tell him.
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler, you couldn't whip me back then, and you can't whip me now. You understand me? Does he hear me? Do you hear me? You cannot whip me. He had to eat his words.
Punk, and he's scared.
You can't whip me.
Get in the ring, they say. Get in the ring.
They said get in the ring.
I'll get in the ring. because I know it, and he knows it, and all these stinking pieces of trash know. You can't win me. You can't do it.
Come on up here, read it.
Jeff will hold the rope for you
Yeah,
there,
Jeff
Brian.
holding the rope for you, Brian.
Here he goes.
Brian Christopher has been running his mouth over here the whole time.
Boy.
Said he can whoop the king, so...
I hope he gets it.
Making a big mistake if he invites me in that ring.
He's already invited you in there 3 times,
yeah.
for heaven's sakes. I think there are a lot of fans that would love to see Lawler get a hold of Brian Christopher.
Yes,
And that
sir.
smart mouth of his that he's been running out here for months.
Christopher may be the one making the mistake by getting in there. Well,
Somebody better warn him. You'd be making a big mistake if I got in that ring.
Brian, he's still there, still waiting for you. Still inviting you in.
Lawler is making a very, very serious mistake with this young man here. He can go in there, and I tell you what, he'll have him whipped in less than 5 minutes. You watch.
Well, let's see. Brian Christopher is in the ring. Jerry Lawler standing there watching him, and he comes after him. And there goes Brian Christopher. Did you slip, Brian? What happened?
Did you see that Jeff Jarrett was going to jump in there? He was going to try to take me 2-on-1.
No, he wasn't. 1 against 1.
I'm not stupid, Lawler. I'm not stupid. I know what you're up to.
Christopher, hightailed it out of there. Boy, he got out of there quick, didn't he?
Boy, you might have known. Yeah, big man. He climbs in there. Lawler immediately pulled the strap down. He was ready to go. Christopher was out of there fast as I've ever seen a human being move. All right, let's check the brackets. In the bottom bracket, we are set to go. Lawler and Jarrett have advanced. They will be going against seed number 3 or number 6. And that match will be coming up a little bit later on today. Let's take a break. The tournament continues after this. Tell you, lots going on here today. The tournament well underway, and so far some really good action. And wait a minute, right here, I think maybe we get the folks who just won the previous match. Here they are, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Lawler, headed this way. Greeting all of their fans along the way. They are going to be going against either the Gilbert brothers or Mike Miller and Brian Christopher. Those are the people who in the tournament would be coming up. Jeff, you were just looking at that pairing as you came over here, I noticed.
I was just taking a good look at that because, well, I'm happy that me and Jerry won our first match, and we're moving on into the later stages of the tournament. And we got a shot at either Brian Christopher and Mike Miller, the team of those two guys, or the Gilberts. Is that right, Dave?
That's exactly right.
Well, you don't have to be an Einstein to guess who me and Jerry want to win that match coming up.
Yep.
And I know one thing, Brian Christopher and Mike Miller, you call yourself a team, and you got the Moondog and Danny Davis as a team, and there's several other ones. Well, you're looking at two guys that have been former tag champions. And I know one thing, we're going to do everything in our power to repeat again. We had some tough battles against the Moondogs, and we held those belts for quite a long time, right, Jerry? And that's exactly what we're going to do this Monday night, is regain those tag titles.
All right, Jeff. Well, it's a tough tournament, but you all are looking good so far.
Yeah, you know, you talk about it being a tough tournament. Well, the word tough is nothing new to Jeff and I. You can go to any newsstand. It's out on the newsstands right today. You pick up Pro Wrestling Illustrated, you pick up the Wrestling News, you pick up any of the national wrestling magazines, and you will see that at the end of the year, they have readers' polls and they have editors of the magazines vote on who is the wrestler of the year, who is the rookie of the year, who is the tag team of the year. And one of the main things that you find out in there is what was the feud of the year. Who had, in all of professional wrestling, in the WCW, in the WWF, in all of professional wrestling, who had the biggest and the toughest feud, and you look it up, and the feud of the year was Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler against the Moondogs. So the word tough is nothing new to us. Because believe me, when you go for 7 months battling a team like the Moondogs, you know what the word tough means. So Brian Christopher, you big mouth punk, you sat out here and you hope that Jeff Jarrett and I lose. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I hope you win. Because you see, if you win your first match, then that means you get us, pal. And we'll just see if that alligator mouth has overloaded that hummingbird rear end of yours. I think it has.
Dave, I can't wait. And ask anybody else. Me and Jerry last year at one time were rated #1 tag team in the world.
That's right.
And I guarantee you that's going to pay off Monday night.
Very good. I think that's an excellent point.
Now we want to talk about, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, lots of action coming up in the territory. You guys are going to be around at some of these places, too, right?
Well, before we leave, just want to say tonight in Jonesboro, we've got a big card over there. Thursday night in Luxor, Arkansas, and Friday night in Covington, Tennessee. I'm going to be at all three of them.
All right, very good. Jerry?
I'm going to be right along Jeff's side. We're going to be right there in every one of those cities because, you see, we are starting once again what is going to be the top tag team in this area. Because Monday night, when we put those tag team titles back around our waist, you're going to see us in every USWA city wearing those tag team belts with pride. And Brian Christopher, you can eat your heart out, punk. And, you know, he mentioned all the cities we're going to be in. I just want to make one more mention. Tomorrow, I'm going to be live at the big pay-per-view event in Sacramento, California, the Royal Rumble. We're going to see how tough those WWF boys are once and for all. I don't think they're that tough, to be honest with you.
That's right.
Good luck to both of you in the tournament here, and also to you, King, tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Corey, let's take a look at that action coming up. Jeff's already mentioned Jonesboro tonight.
Yeah, yes, sir. Indeed, David, it is tonight. Jonesboro, Arkansas, Earl Bell Community Center on Church Street. Big night of action. Now, bell time is at 8 o'clock tonight in Jonesboro, and box office opens at 3 p.m. for Jonesboro, Arkansas. And here's Eddie Marlin. Eddie?
Corey, let me interrupt you just a minute while you're talking about Jonesboro, Arkansas. You see there it says a Moondog Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Well, I witnessed one Moondog Battle Royal, and I'll have to tell you it was the wildest match I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
So that match will be in Jonesboro tonight. 2 men will start the match, and every minute the bell would ring, and another wrestler will go to the ring, and he'll have one of those big boards, and it's illegal to use it. And you're talking about wild?
It is.
That is wild.
Boy, it is. Let me tell you, and they can get real heated in there. Here's Richard Lee. Richard, how's it on?
Yeah, well, it's sore, Corey, to say the least. I just came out here real quick. I want to tell everybody something that we normally don't do. Thursday night, we're going to be in Luxor, but between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, we're going to be at the Pizza Hut in Osceola. I'm going to have my dogs down there, and we normally don't go out and make personal appearances, but we're going to do it this one time. Coming up at 7:30 in Luxor, we're going to have the January Jam, and if people in the Luxor area have never seen the Moondogs live, take it from Richard Lee. We're going to end the first month of the new year with a bang, brother, and we're going to do it on the Harris Brothers. Mark my word, we're getting rid of some scum around here, baby.
All right, Richard Lee, and as Richard said, they're going to be in Luxor, Arkansas, and not only that, they're going to be in Jonesboro, Arkansas tonight. Earl Bella Community Center Moondogs will be there, and that big Moondog battle royal, Jeff Jarrett's undercard ladies match. Miss Texas and Sapphire are going to be over in Jonesboro. Brian Christopher's on the card, and you can call area code 501-932-8885 for more information. Box office opens at 3 for 8 o'clock tonight in Jonesboro. Thursday night, as Richard Lee mentioned, Luxor, Arkansas. And as he also mentioned, the Moondogs will be at the Pizza Hut there in Osceola from 4 until 6. And then championship wrestling is at 8 o'clock in Luxor, Arkansas. And Luxor, you're there at the City Auditorium. You'll see the Harris Brothers, Moondogs, Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett. Honky Tonk Man, I understand, is on that card as well. Brian Christopher, Danny Davis, Masters of Terror. A big lineup for Luxor, Arkansas, Thursday night. Friday, January 29th, Covington, Tennessee. Coming up Friday night, 7:30 there in Covington. National Guard Armory at 7:30. You'll see Jerry Lawler, Honky Tonk Man, Brian Christopher on the card. Moondogs, Jeff Jarrett, also Ronnie Dunn Harris and Brian Collins, all in Covington. Friday, February 5th, Blytheville, Arkansas. National Guard Armory back in Blytheville there, 8 p.m. Box office opens at noon. And the first 100 fans to get their tickets in Blytheville will receive a free photo of your favorite wrestler. Miss Texas on the card, Moondogs, Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, all in Blytheville, Arkansas. Thursday, February 11th, Senatobia, Mississippi, 7:30 in Senatobia at the Northwest Community College Coliseum there. Tickets are at Video World in Senatobia and Coldwater. Save $1 on advance tickets for Championship Wrestling in Senatobia. And Friday, February 12th, Kennett, Missouri at the American Legion Building. All the USWA top stars back in Kennett with Honky Tonk Man on that card. And Friday night, February 19th, Harrisburg, Arkansas at the National Guard Armory. That's USWA Championship Wrestling on tour. A lot of it tonight, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 8 o'clock at the Earl Bella Community Center on Church Street.
Boy, let me tell you, it is going to be big action coming up. We've got big action right here. The tournament continues in just a moment. we were just talking about the tournament coming up. Monday night at Mid-South Coliseum, the tag team tournament. That's the Honky Tonk Man coming out here.
Honky Tonk Man.
It sure is. I noticed when you were doing out of town that he was going to be in one of the cities around here. Honky Tonk Man.
Honky Tonk Man. Nice to meet you,
It's
Dave.
good to see you.
I've been watching you on TV and seeing everything that's going on.
Honky Tonk Man, hi. I haven't met you. I've seen you on TV. My name is Corey Mack.
Corey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
want
you.
to say hello to all of my friends and all of my fans that's been waiting for the Honky Tonk Man. You know, Dave, I've watched the show on several occasions. The Honky Tonk Man lives around here. Honky Land, USA. It's a big theme park, open all day long to the public, just for my friends and all of my fans. But the one thing that I wanted to clear up, I've been on the phone on several occasions. I've spoken with the USWA promoter, Eddie Marlin. And for some unknown reason, the Honky Tonk Man, either I can't communicate with him, or this old decrepit Eddie Marlin, maybe Alzheimer's has set in on him and he can't hear straight. But the reason I'm here now is to meet him face to face. You see, I make a statement. The Honky Tonk Man, if there's something wrong, I step up to the plate and I say something's wrong. I'm not afraid to say what I feel. Now, for some reason, I can't get the kind of matches that I deserve because I am the greatest of all time, Dave. And when you introduce me, you say I'm the great.
Let me interfere here. I've talked to you on the phone several times. It's right. I may be old, but I'm not hard of hearing. Evidently, you're hard of hearing. You may be a big star all over the world.
No, I'm not a big star. I'm the greatest of all time.
Okay, that's your opinion. But in the USWA, I'm the star. I book the matches. You may go call all the other promoters and say, I want this match, and this match. And they bow to you and get it. But here, you work your way up. You don't start just picking your matches.
See, there's the problem we have right there. There's a communication breakdown with you, Eddie Marlin. Now, I don't know. I say, no, it's you. Maybe it's the Alzheimer's that set in. When I tell you that I want and I deserve championship matches and I want to wrestle the best talent the USWA has to offer, that's what I expect, and that's what the greatest of all time. I sing, I dance, I wrestle, and oh, yeah, I play the guitar, too. But I see right now that I cannot communicate with you in any way.
That's because you don't listen. I told you I would book you in matches. But you're not going to come in here and demand a title match with this, that, and other. You will have your matches that I book you in, and when you work your way up, you will get a title match, and not until.
Well, that's real good. That's just what I want to hear, this open-door policy that the USWA is supposed to have. But when the Honky Tonk Man says, I want to wrestle somebody, I'll wrestle anybody, anytime, the open-door policy seems to close with people like little Jeff Jarrett, the fair-haired young man. That's right, little Jeff Jarrett. He dodges and ducks all his matches. He hides behind your coattail and his mama's coattail because I say this. He gets championship matches anytime he wants them. All he's got to do is say, come on, Eddie, I want a championship match. He gets it, I don't.
That's because every match I sign him in, he gets in there and puts out 100%. He don't pick his matches.
Yeah, he don't pick them. You pick them for him, and you give him the kosher little matches. I don't think I know this young man.
Now, Honky Tonk Man, I was going to sit back there and listen to you run your mouth, but I already heard just enough. You out here and say that I duck and I dodge everybody and I still get the title shots? Well,
No,
pal, obviously you had, oh, just wait just a second. Obviously you don't watch the TV good enough because just a few short weeks ago I was the Southern Heavyweight title holder until 4 or 5 guys had to jump me, and that's how Brian Christopher's the champion.
What I'm saying is you're protected. I'm saying that people like you in the USWA hide behind Eddie Marlin's coattail, and I ask for championship matches, and what are you doing out here anyway? You don't have a belt, you're not a champion. Why are you even talking to me?
Well,
I don't recall ever formally meeting this young man, by the way.
Well,
this young man
come on, Honky Tonk. Yeah, you know who I am, Honky Tonk. Yeah, you think you come out here and you want to say you're a big star, and you can call all the promoters up and get any title shots you want. Well, who have you beat recently? No, where are you rated in any ratings? You ain't nowhere, Honky Tonk.
Well,
you got to work your way up. Now, if you want a title shot, you go to Eddie Marlin and you go through the right avenues. But if you want to wrestle somebody, why don't you wrestle me right here today? And if you beat me, I guarantee you, you will be a title contender, because I sure am.
The simple reason I'm not going to do that, and I don't want to do it, is because I want championship matches of championship caliber people. And you, it's like I said, I don't know you. In fact, I've only heard of you. I've heard of you through people like Eddie Marley, somebody you hide behind because you get the kind of matches you want.
Well, I
now,
guess
look,
you've heard of Jarrett Lawler, hadn't you? Well, me and him held the tag titles for several months. I guess you've heard of Brian Christopher, maybe not.
Right.
Well, I just held the title before he did. What, Eddie?
Wait just a second. You say that I protect this young man?
you do.
He just challenged you to a match. I will sign that match. I wasn't going to start you that high up, but I will sign that match if you want to get in the ring with Jeff Jarrett.
First of all, since I don't know anything about him other than the fact of what you do for him, I don't take a challenge from somebody who doesn't have a championship belt. It's not championship caliber material. Now, if it's Brian Christopher, he's got a belt. If it's Jerry Lawler, fine. These people have the championship belt. Hey, the belt looks good around my waist. I need it, I want it, and I've got to have it.
What titles have you held recently?
If you want a championship match.
Let him answer that. Well, what titles have you held recently?
The greatest of all time. That's all that matters. I don't know anything about this punk. As far as I'm concerned, case closed. I get what I want, Eddie Marley. Either with you or without you. I don't need a match with this punk. He's not going to make a name off of me. That's just how it is.
The offer was on the table there, and
Honky Tonk wouldn't take it.
he knows who you are.
He certainly does. And if he wants to find out who I am, I just want to make one last offer. Honky Tonk man, I put my name on the dotted line. Why don't you put yours?
There's a word from Jeff Jarrett. Well, he turned the match down is what he did and walked out of here, the Honky Tonk man. Let's take another break. I apologize. We'll be back with the tournament. Stay with us. Now we're joined here at the table by guest commentators for this match, Bert, Prentice, and Mike Samples. As this match gets underway, Moondog Spot and Danny Davis will be partners to go against Jeff Gaylord and Reggie B. Fine. And the team that wins this match will advance in the tournament. They'll be facing the Bruise brothers, Ron and Don Harris. Gaylord and Reggie B. Fine. Gaylord showing off his muscles to the crowd over there. Reggie B. Fine is hanging close to the corner. Here comes Richard Lee with a chair, leading Moondog Spot and Danny Davis. And pretty soon we will be underway, set to go with this one. And maybe, just maybe, we can get a comment or two from Bert Prentice.
Well, you know, it shouldn't take long for Gaylord and Reggie B. Fine to defeat these two idiots. Originally, this was supposed to be Mr. Hughes, but due to travel connections, probably fouled up by Danny Davis or Moondog Spot. Mr. Hughes can't be here, but we're going to do fine with Reggie B. Fine.
Travel connection. He wouldn't show up and wrestle Danny Davis and the Moondog, I suspect is what happened there, right?
Dave, of course, you know you're dreaming once again. This is kind of a dark horse tag team for us. Of course, as Bert explained, Mr. Hughes is going to be here. We really thought this tournament was going to take place all next week. They surprised us today with the little TV tournament, and we had to make a little substitution.
Well, there's no surprise. It was in the contract all along that the first round would be on television, and then the tournament would continue later in the week.
Oh, I see now you're an attorney telling us what was in the contract. Well, it doesn't matter. Reggie B. Fine is a good athlete. He's not maybe world class, but Jeff Gaylord is a world class athlete. And quite frankly, even without a partner, he could beat these two guys. Danny Davis, he was a good wrestler when I was about 3 years old. Moondog Spot is not a wrestler. He's just an ugly person. So Jeff Gaylord will beat these guys, and then they'll advance. And the ultimate winner, though, I have to say, in all this, and I know Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler has their heart set on, getting another belt, but I hate to be the one that tells them this, but the Bruise brothers are going to be the tag team champions. You know that. I know it. Everybody here knows it. The Bruise brothers cannot be beaten, and they won't be beaten.
Well,
you're very wrong.
Mike Samples, yeah.
They could be beaten, and that's what the tournament is all about. Hey, Richard Lee has a word for you. He's saying you might want to pay attention to what's going on in the ring here.
Look at Danny Davis.
I really don't pay a lot of attention to Richard Lee.
Oh, boy, too. Hey, Gaylord almost got pinned in there, Prentice and Samples, while you all out here doing your so-called commentary.
Well, you know, we got another great team. The best professional wrestler ever, Brian Christopher, and Mean Mike Miller. There again. Either way, the Samples Foundation are walking away with these belts.
We'll see.
The Samples Foundation. Non-profit charitable organization, I guess you're going to tell me next,
We
right?
make plenty of profit, thank you.
Oh, boy.
Look at Danny Davis.
I know you've never been a big fan of mine, but
You're right.
let me put credit where credit's due. I just read in the Wrestling Observer, which is sort of the Bible of wrestling, that you were voted the 6th best wrestling commentator in the world. Are you aware of that?
I usually don't bring that sort of thing up, no, but I appreciate it for those who voted that way.
Well, I congratulate you, even though you wouldn't congratulate me. And I also want to mention that Mr. Corey Macklin, your cohort here, was voted the 8th worst wrestling announcer on the whole planet. So, maybe you want to think about replacing him with somebody like me. You and I would make a heck of a team.
Well, I was just about to thank you and appreciate what you had to say, and then you had to say that.
Yeah, well, Mike Samples coming from you, I tell you, that's just like you.
Mike, wasn't I voted the best manager in professional wrestling?
You were the #1 manager.
Your dark horse team just had the curtain drawn.
Yeah, you see, the Sample Foundation has just went down in there. Gaylord and Reggie beat fine.
Jeff Gaylord can't be beaten by these guys. What's going on, Dave? You're in on this, Dave Brown. What happened?
Not in on anything. You saw it right there in the ring. What happened is Mr. Gaylord made the tag, and this match is over. Danny Davis and Moondog Spot have advanced. Did you hear what he was saying? He was saying, how about the big men? How about the big men? Both of them were bigger than him, and they just won.
Okay. Oh, no, look, I've got to leave.
Yeah, I don't blame you. There they go. Samples and Prentice out of here. Their dark horse team has just been defeated.
Yeah.
Danny Davis and Moondog Spot will advance, and we got the bracket right here. They are going to be going against the Harris brothers. What a match that ought to be. We'll be back after this. Well, with the big tournament, I don't know all the matches that are coming up this week, but I know one of them. It's going to be Sapphire and Miss Texas going against Bert Prentice and Leslie Ballinger.
That's right, that's right. And first, I'd like to thank Mr. Eddie Lawler for letting me come here and be a part of the show. And the main thing I want to thank him for is to give me a chance to pick this bone with Mr. Prentice. You know, he brought me here, had me to embarrass myself in front of all my fans, trying to say I was married to a woman. That's not true. I'll tell you one thing. Now, he may be a funny man. I don't know about that. But I'm going to show him, baby, I am not a funny woman. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we hear you.
Whoa. Hold on, girlfriend. Hold on. I deserve the first shot at Buffalo Butt, okay? All right. I've been trying to get him in the ring one-on-one. Bert Prentice, when I get you in the ring, I'm going to kick your fat butt all around the ring. And Leslie, you stick your nose in my business, I'm going to beat you like I own you.
Now, wait a minute. Prentice has just climbed into the ring. What are you doing?
He said, come on.
No. The match, no, Miss Texas, be careful. Miss Texas goes right after him.
Oh, she gets on Prentice over there and goes to work on Bert Prentice. Oh,
look out. Mike Samples has got Sapphire from behind, and Leslie Ballinger jumps into the ring and grabs Miss Texas.
Yeah, she's got Miss Texas holding her over there. Holding on to Miss Texas. Look at Prentice. Takes the strap off his pants in there and lashing Miss Texas. Boy, I didn't even think Bert Prentice wore a belt. He comes in here, takes it off, and lashing away on Miss Texas in there. Prentice, while Leslie Ballinger holds on to her, Mike Samples has got Sapphire down here. This is ridiculous, let me tell you. Miss Texas held over there while Bert Prentice just humiliates her. Here comes help for Miss Texas, though. Jeff Jarrett comes in. He nails Prentice. Miss Texas picks up that splash. Ho-ho! She's got the strap now. Lighting away on Leslie Ballinger. And Ballinger heading out of here. Samples runs over and gets some of it. Ho-ho!
Samples yelling, no, not me, not me.
Hey, but that leaves Bert Prentice over here. You forgot about Prentice. He's trying to get out.
Yeah, look out for Prentice.
Now Jarrett grabs him. Oh, boy.
Yeah, he escaped. He's out of here.
He ran a 100-yard dash and got out of here, Prentice.
This is not going to work. No. You don't play that. No, you don't play this.
But Prentice, I'm going to have this belt with me. You better get off. You better get ready for the good old-fashioned butt kicking.
That's right. We got something for them.
All right, Sapphire and Miss Texas holding their own pretty well there, let me tell you, especially when they got a little help from Jeff to kind of even things up there. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more USWA action. Stay with us. Well, we got the next match scheduled here. Brian Christopher and Mike Miller against Eddie and Doug Gilbert, but I've just been told that Eddie Gilbert is not here. Here's Doug. I don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to take him on by himself? What the situation is, that has happened in matches in the past where one partner has decided to go it alone. Doug?
What's this right here? Tag team tournament I see, right?
Yeah, but I'm told that Eddie's not here. Is that right?
You know, Dave, a lot of people, everybody out here knows Eddie Gilbert's my older brother, right? Everybody out here. Okay, what everybody don't know, Dave, is me and Eddie have had a few problems. Yes, Eddie's older than me, and when I was smaller than him, he beat me up a lot, Dave. He beat me around, kicked me around. But when I was about 18 years old, I started growing. When he was about 18, he quit growing. Now, I'm still the younger brother, but I'm not the smaller brother. So what I'm saying, Dave, Eddie's got a problem. He's got this disease. You know what I mean? Have you heard about it? It's where your mouth runs off before your brain can think about what you're saying. I carried him to the airport yesterday. He was going to Philadelphia to wrestle Terry Funk. He says, I'm going to catch the early morning flight, and I'll be back. I said, fine. He calls this morning, and his stupid butt missed the early morning flight. So, Dave, what does that tell you? But, hold on. I'm already here. So I've been looking around this morning. I see a young man, I think his name's Tony Denucci or something like that, right?
He was in the opening match here, yeah.
Okay. I'll take him. It looks like he got beat up on a little bit, but I'll take him, and you put him with me, and we'll win the tournament.
Well, it's fine with me. I mean, I guess, if it's all right with the promotion, I don't mind. Tony Denucci was in the opening match. His partner was actually the one who was pinned in here. And there's Tony right there. Here come Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett. They're going to be over here at the desk and help us comment on the match. And I guess this tag team's going to go. You know, Doug paid the entry fee, so I guess he can have anybody as a partner that he wants, as long as that entry fee was paid.
Well, we finally got some pleasant people here with us this
yes,
time.
indeed. Good to have you guys.
Corey Macklin out here talking about how ridiculous this is. Oh, boy. That's Corey Macklin's impersonation. They're pretty good.
Maybe we need to bring the other guys back, huh?
I want to come out here and watch this. We're seeing the formation of a brand new tag team here today, looks like.
Yeah, you're right. Doug Gilbert and Tony Denucci, and I hear some music. That's the music of Brian Christopher and Mike Miller.
You know, I doubt if Brian knows you guys are here. I want to see his face when he looks over here.
And Christopher with a little dance over there, and he and Miller head to the ring with Bert Prentice.
As good a wrestler as he thought he was, I believe he'll be world champion today.
Well, I think you're exactly right about that, Jeff. He can really talk, and he's a pretty good wrestler, but...
Dave, you know the old expression of guys about him, I would love to be able to buy him for what he's worth and sell him for what he thinks he's worth. He'd be a multi-millionaire.
Now, what is this?
Doug Gilbert just sneaked up behind Mike Miller over there.
Bert Prentice is in the corner of Brian Christopher and Mike Miller. We're just about set to get this one underway.
Yes, sir, indeed.
That's one of Brian Christopher's patented moves there. He loves to let his partner start all the matches. You know, he likes to stand on the outside and
He likes to French kiss that belt, Jerry.
yeah, exactly. Look at him.
That's his best move right now he's doing.
Oh, he's licking the belt over there.
He's sick. He's an idiot.
Let's get this match started, Dave.
Yeah. Hey, maybe someday you'll be thin enough to wear it.
I think Jerry's had a little practice with the commentary, Dave. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right, and especially against guys like Bert, Prentice. Are we underway here? I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell. It looks like we're 1 against 1, so let's do it.
Yep, we're underway. Doug Gilbert and Mike Miller. They're going to start off each team. Miller backed in the corner by Doug Gilbert and the referee.
The winner of this match is who we face in the first round of the tournament when we go to the arena.
Well, that's why I said, you know, as much as I hate to pull against a team like Doug Gilbert and Tony Denucci, I'm really looking forward to being able to get in the ring one time, one-on-one, with that punk Brian Christopher. I can't wait. I love the opportunity.
That's the king. And that's Mike Miller with a series of right hands, nailing away on Doug Gilbert. But Doug up against the rope, whips him in. Doug goes under, comes back. That's for hip toss and gets Miller down. Whoa!
You got him there.
Sir. Now, Dave, the seedings for the first round, the other matches are already taking place, right? It's going to be...
Right. It's going to be Moondog Spot and Danny Davis with Richard Lee in their corner going against the Harris brothers, the Bruise brothers, Ron and Don Harris.
One heck of a tournament the USWA's put together right here today.
And we've already had exciting matches here today. This is just the first round, fans. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, look at that. We're learning what not to do right now. See, Brian Christopher, he was so happy to get an opportunity to get in there as soon as his opponent was down. Now, when his opponent's back up, Brian wants to act like a crawfish.
Well, Bert Prentice over here running his mouth. He's got a big one, too.
You know, this would have been a different match had Eddie Gilbert been here. I know you guys are probably a little bit glad, especially you, Jerry, because I think with the fact that Eddie Gilbert is not here, it does make Brian Christopher and Mike Miller the favorites to advance in this match.
Like I said, I hate to pull against Doug and Tony, but I can't think of anything better. I mean, it'd be like another Christmas present for me to get to wrestle that little punk.
You know, Dave, that's right. That's one thing me and Jerry, we got going for us in this tournament. We've been partners several times before. We are many months, we've been former tag champs, and I don't believe there's a team in the tournament outside of the Harris brothers that have been the tag champs before.
Well, I think you're exactly right, and of course, you got there by the toughest road you can take, and that is you guys had to go through the Moondogs repeatedly to get and successfully defend those world titles last time around.
Look at that crowd, man. look at Brian Christopher. Look at that crowd. They know him well.
Yeah.
They call him a big sissy. He can't stand it.
Oh, Christopher said when he wants to beat up the crowd. Yeah, I want to beat up all the fans. Say, hey, when I get through beating him up, I'll beat all of the fans up. This Christopher, boy.
Kids over there, I think they're ready to take him on now.
Those 5 kids give him a run for his money.
Well, you know, he spent 10 minutes out here challenging Jerry and then immediately ran back to the dressing room when Jerry made a move at him.
That's one thing about Brian. He runs his mouth a lot, but I believe he's got a little bit upstairs. He knew not to take it on one-on-one.
Tony Denucci in trouble here against Brian Christopher.
Christopher takes Denucci, whips him in hard, and goes in after, but nobody home.
Good offense there for Brian Christopher.
Yeah, Denucci gets out of there.
Is that underestimating your opponent? Is that what happened there?
No, Dave, that's plain stupidity. I'll tell you what can happen on a move like that. He can get even dumber than he already is. He'd do that again, he'll knock out his wisdom teeth. Then he'll really be stupid.
That's the king, Jerry Lawler. Jeff Jarrett here joining us here today at the ringside. Christopher hanging on to Denucci.
Look at Bert Prentice rolling around the ring there. You know, when he sits around the ring, he sits around the ring. I mean, he is big, and he...
Denucci goes on to Christopher. Christopher swings at him, and look at Tony. Big body slam on him, and gives it to him again. That's Denucci.
You know, Jerry, on the back of Brian's tights, it says a perfect 10. What do you got to say about that? I don't believe that was too perfect, Dan.
No, exactly right. I'll tell you what. I don't know how he can even think about being anything close to perfect, but he does have a few moves down. I don't know if you could catch it. Just a few little things that you notice about him. When Tony Denucci picked him up in midair in that body slam, I saw Brian's arm out going like, motioning for Mike Miller to come to his aid. Right while he had him in midair, he's motioning for help. So he's got all those little nuances down pat, see?
He knows how to call for help. Christopher! Man, we're talking about Denucci in there now.
Instead of 10 on his trunks, he ought to have 911, shouldn't he?
Help! Emergency help on top of that. Doug Gilbert comes off the rope.
Boy, Bert Prentice was not happy about that move. He yelled, illegal, illegal, but it wasn't. He came off the middle rope.
Bert Prentice out here watching a wrestling match talking about sick birds. Illegal. What's he talking about? Is he crazy?
Doug Gilbert got Brian Christopher now. Well, Eddie Gilbert hadn't showed up yet to team up with his brother Doug, so Doug got the services of Tony Denucci in there, and Doug yanks Christopher down to the mat.
Giving Brian Christopher a little of his own medicine. Look at him crying and complaining. Oh, he don't want none of me, because I'd show him every dirty trick ever invented.
Doug, hang on.
He won't give up. He's still complaining about having his hair pulled.
Doesn't look like Bert Prentice is doing too much cheering on now. He's over there. He's got his crying towel out right now.
Be around him. He's like an eclipse.
Brian. Yeah. Couple of big shoulders on Doug in there. Thanks, Doug Gilbert. Doug leaps over the corner there and comes back with a little chop on Christopher. Climbs the top rope. Look at that.
Oh, nice shot, Doug Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Maybe right here. We're going to be wrestling Doug and Tony. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I thought he may have had him there, too.
Yeah,
I believe Brian did one of his nuances there. He did the whole, please help, please help.
Mike Miller up on the middle rope. He comes down and slams away on Doug Gilbert.
Yeah, they doubled up on him. Christopher held him up while Miller came off the ropes.
Mike Miller, another big right hand on Doug Gilbert. Whoops, Doug into the turnbuckle. Goes in after him and...
tag, all right. Let's see what Tony Denucci can do now.
And Denucci gets the tag, and Mike Miller slams down on Denucci, though.
Right in there and gone on the offense.
That's an excellent point. He came in trying to solidify something, and he should have come in quickly with the offense. Good point, Jeff. And it's got him in trouble as a result.
Mike Miller working on Denucci. That holds him over to his corner. Bad place for Tony to be as Brian Christopher comes in and slams down on him with right hand. Picks Denucci up, slams him down. Well, it's been on. Oh, almost been on Brian Christopher and Mike Miller. Denucci on his feet now and a big power slam. Good move from Tony, covers him. Only one, though. Christopher kicked out at one. Brian Christopher trying to set Tony Denucci out. Well, he's trying to get a neck breaker on him in there, reverse neck breaker, but Denucci got out of the hole. Look at Prentice hanging on to his tights there.
Here's what Brian Christopher's famous for, the old 2-on-1, 3-on-1.
Mike Miller grabs Denucci, whips him into the rope. Boot from Tony Denucci and sends Miller down. He tags Doug Gilbert. Dirty Doug Gilbert comes back in. Back on Tony Denucci.
Try a little aerial move. Look at.
Oh, boy, Denucci came off the top rope and caught Doug's arm in there.
Well, Mike Miller pulled him right into it.
Yeah, he did. Miller made a good move there.
Excellent move there.
Yeah, well,
Doug doesn't look very happy about this.
Mike Miller. Boy.
Jerry, what is Doug?
I don't know, but Doug needs to help his partner now. Come on, man.
Yeah, Doug's standing in there. He's in the ring and not giving Denucci any help at all. Miller and Christopher whips him into the ropes. Double backdrop on Tony Denucci, and Doug Gilbert just steps out of the ring over there.
There
There you go, Doug. Yeah, Doug comes back in. And he goes over and grabs Denucci and just pulls Denucci over to that corner for the tag. Yeah, he's trying to pull him over there and get a tag from him, but Denucci still wasn't able to get up and get his hand up and tag Doug. Doug Gilbert comes back over, and Nels Miller and Christopher drags Denucci back over toward his corner over there again. They get a tag from him. Doug steps out, and he doesn't get the tag in time.
Well, he's working hard. He's really trying to get in there, but just can't do it.
Miller gets a reverse neck breaker on Tony Denucci. Mike Miller. Oh, Miller just shoves Doug Gilbert over there, and Doug picks up Denucci again and sets Denucci up. Oh, boy!
What's that?
He does clothesline. Tony Denucci is on target. What's the matter with him? Boy, Doug Gilbert is furious after trying to get some tag from Denucci and just clothesline Tony Denucci.
Boy,
I don't know.
Doug's leaving.
Come back and help your partner.
Doug's gone.
Yeah, he's out of here. He's left Denucci to fend for himself.
Yeah, Dave, he's gone. He left him, and Christopher covers Denucci, gets the 1, 2, 3.
Big deal. Took three of you to beat one.
Yeah, it took 3 of them. Christopher flips over the top ropes in there, and they're celebrating a win over Tony Denucci himself in there.
Well, it's strange the way it happened as Gilbert was upset with Denucci and left.
Yeah, but one thing about it, Christopher and Miller, they're grinning and all smiles now, but they've got this team of Jarrett and Lawler that they'll face next, too, coming up in the second round of the tournament.
Bert Prentice knows what's coming up, but I think maybe Brian has forgotten just a little bit who he's going to have to face. What is going on here? He jumps back in the ring to grab Denucci again. The match is over. They had left, and Prentice sent him back in here. Jarrett head to the ring. They nail him. It's Jarrett against Brian Christopher, and Lawler's helping up Tony Denucci. And now Jerry turns to Brian Christopher, and Christopher still in the ring, but backing up. And now he takes the earliest opportunity to escape through the ropes, down onto the floor. Jerry Lawler does. It's Brian Christopher. I hope you realize what's coming up next in the tournament for you guys.
Smiles in there.
Yeah,
just remember what's
here it is right here. All the brackets are full in the preliminary right now. The Harris brothers are going to be going against Danny Davis and the Moondog. Richard Lee will be in their corner. And Lawler and Jarrett are going to be facing Mean Mike Miller and Brian Christopher. USWA Wrestling continues after this. Did a final copy of the Memphis card here, and it's looking mighty good. We'll go over the whole thing for you in just a minute or so. But one of the matches on here as the USWA Tag Tournament continues is going to be the team of Moondog Spot and Danny Davis with Richard Lee going against these guys right here, the Bruise brothers, Ron and Don Harris, Bert Prentice and Mike Samples accompanying them out here. And I tell you what, Moondog Spot and Danny Davis look mighty good in the opening round match here today.
It's like this: Moondog Spot, Danny Davis, Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett. It don't matter who it is. Talk about them all, because sooner or later you got to filter to the top. And when you filter to the top, ain't nobody gonna be there waiting on you except me and my brother with a baddest thing running. And as far as I'm concerned, them belts are as good as ours. So it don't matter how you pair up, who gets in what bracket. You're gonna meet us, and when you meet us, it's gonna be the darkest day you ever seen.
Well, it's going to be an interesting night. I got to tell you that. It's going to be real interesting for you, Bert Prentice. I'd watch myself if I were you.
Sapphire and Booby Johnson, you're gonna wish you were married, because Monday night, after I'm done beating you, people ain't gonna tell if you're a man or a woman. I'm tired of it. I'm gonna end it all Monday night. Black and blue, if you know what I mean.
Mike Samples, it could be an interesting night for you. Yeah, you're smiling like you got everything under control.
He's the king.
Dave, wouldn't you hate to be in the ring against these two men?
I sure would, but I'm not a wrestler. I'm not Danny Davis and Moondog Spot.
Be thankful you're not, because Danny Davis and Moondog Spot or anybody that gets in the ring with these two guys, their career is over, and possibly everything else is over. These men are not to be played with. They are serious, and they are uncontrollable. And keep that word in mind, uncontrollable, because I'm not able to stop them. Once they see the blood, they're just like great white sharks, and they feed until it's over.
Well, the
Nobody can touch us. Nobody can touch us. We got a room full of stupid people out here, and as much as you hate to admit it, nobody can touch us.
Well, the second round of the tournament will continue Monday night, and let's take a look at the entire card coming up Monday night at the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum. If you gentlemen like to watch, it is mighty interesting. In the opening match, we've got a preliminary match that is now scheduled. Tony Denucci, who was not able to advance today, and partly because his partner abandoned him out here in the match. Well, he will be going against Terror number 1 in the opening match Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Following that, Jeff Gaylord will be booked in a single match against Scott Campione. Then coming up with a special feature, you listen to this, Bert, Prentice? Sapphire and Miss Texas in the ring against Bert, Prentice, and Leslie Bellinger. Book it. It'll be there Monday night. Won't be any of this inviting in, and it's 3 against 2. It's 1-2 against 1-2, Bert, Prentice.
And don't run it either, Prentice.
Yeah, come Monday night. Then,
come on,
get out of here with that.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue. The second round, actually, of the USWA tournament. First round match is here today, and in the second round, the number 4 seeds, Moondog Spot and Danny Davis with Richard Lee, have advanced to go against the number 1 seeds, Ron and Don Harris. Mike Samples will be in the corner with them. Then, following that, in the other second round match, you've got the King and Jeff Jarrett, the number 2 seeds in the tournament, against the number 3 seeds in the tournament, Brian Christopher and Mike Miller. There are wrestling fans all over America who have been waiting to see a confrontation just such as this one coming up, and it will happen at the Mid-South Coliseum Monday night. You'll have the chance to see it right there in the Coliseum.
Yes,
and
sir.
then, main event of the night, the winners, of course, of the 2 second-round matches, the semifinals, will advance to the main event, the finals of the USWA Tag Tournament, and the winners of that match that night will be crowned USWA World Tag Team Champions. It is going to be a mighty big night.
It is.
At the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum. Here's Brian Christopher and Mike Miller. They've got to go against Lawler and Jarrett.
You know, I have waited for this for a long, long time. It's well overdue. There's no backing out. Jeff Jarrett, you and the King, you're in over your head. King, oh King, I've told you before, you couldn't whip me then, and you can't whip me now. You've made your bed, and now you have to lie in it, you understand me? You're getting in over your head, just like today, when we faced up in the ring. Did you see me back down? No. I saw the fear in your eyes. King, I saw the fear in your eyes. So you just show up, and I'll laugh before we start, and I'll laugh when it's over.
Brian Christopher. You got the cream of the crop right here. You got me, Mike Miller. You got Brian Christopher. And I tell you what, I've had both them punks in the ring. You, Jerry Lawler, and you, Jeff Jarrett. And I tell you what, when you combine a team like this, brother, there ain't nobody in the Mid-South area ever is going to handle this team right here, brother, because we're going right straight to the top, and we're going to step on anybody we can to get there. And we're going to start with Jarrett and Lawler, brother.
It's the match that the fans have been waiting for, and you got it coming up Monday night. Mike Miller and Brian Christopher against Jarrett and Lawler.
Can't wait
Back
to see
in a
it.
moment. I tell you, the tournament is set. First round is over. Second round will continue Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Make your plans to be there. Boy, not only great matches, but that pairing with Christopher and Lawler. Almost, and Christopher is out here. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
He said, you didn't see me back up a step.
I saw him running.
I saw him running forward is what I saw. He wasn't backing up. He was running
Fast
forward
too,
fast as he could go. And I tell you, it was quite an interesting day. Ron and Don Harris winning in their opening round match over the team of Tony Denucci and Scott Campione. It was just a situation where Ron and Don Harris favored coming in. They were the #1 seeds in the tournament after all, and they backed it up, and they showed why.
Ron and Don Harris are just tough.
They are.
Let me tell you, they're flat-foot tough.
They're huge. If you've never seen them in person, they are huge, and they won their match here today. But then Jarrett and Lawler came in going against the Masters of Terror, and that one went the way the #2 seed, Jarrett and Lawler, against the #7 seed, and the #2 seed won.
Yeah, the King and Jeff came out with the 1, 2, 3, and they'll advance against Brian, Christopher, and Mike Miller, who got their win here today over Doug Gilbert and Tony Denucci.
And Tony Denucci, yeah, you know, Doug was supposed to be here with Eddie Gilbert, but as he said, Eddie missed his plane this morning out of Philadelphia, was not able to be here, so he got Tony Denucci, and then was not happy with Tony's performance and abandoned him in the ring. Tony was pinned, and Brian, Christopher, and Mike Miller advanced. Also, Moondog Spot and Danny Davis against Jeff Gaylord, Reggie B. Fine. In this one, it was the Moondog and Danny Davis winning. And, you know, Samples had been out here running his mouth with the Harris brothers. That is that the new Moondog? Is that Danny Davis? He's little. He's not big enough. He can't go against us. Look at these big guys. But I think, as Danny correctly pointed out, he was smaller than either Jeff Gaylord or Reggie B. Fine here today.
Yeah.
And he got the victory.
He looked awfully tough against him, and better not take Danny Davis lightly at all.
Not at all, especially with Moondog Spot and Richard Lee.
Oh, yeah.
A chair.
And that metal chair. Yeah.
Tell you what, the tournament continues. Make your plans to be there. Make your plans to join us next week for more USWA Championship Wrestling right here. Until then, for Corey Macklin, I'm Dave Brown. So long, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.